right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Why I order? Now, before you even say anything, don't even ask why. There's a horn here. I have no idea. The kids must have put it there. But here we are. I don't know. So today, we're going to talk about, are you an audiophile? Are you? I want to know as well. I came across this quiz on a forum, and I clicked on it and did the quiz, and it was quite interesting. So I'd like to go through it with you, and I'd like to know what your score is going to be. So I think there's 10 questions, and at the end it tells you whether or not you're an audiophile. So get a pen and paper ready to mark down whether it's a yes or a no, or 1 or 0, okay? So, but before we do that, it is the weekend. Again, I know, what the deuce. So I'm going to have a beer, and this week's beer of choice is, this is Gower Gold from the Gower Brewery, right? And the Gower Brewery is just west of me, about 60 miles. It's a beautiful place, absolutely stunning place. It was one of the first places in the UK to be called an area of outstanding natural beauty. And it is long sandy beaches, lovely scenery, and funny enough, it says on the back of here, best enjoyed with a good view. Now this is supposed to have some, what does it say, low colour malts and the distinctive citrusy flavour. Oh, anyway, what's this? 4.5%. Gower Gold. Anyway, let's spark it open and see what we've got. What did I do with that bottle opener? Oh, there you go. Looking forward to this. I look forward to my weekends now. Right. Bottoms up. Chin chin. Cheers. Oh, that is nice. Do you know what? I'm liking the beers from around Wales at the moment. They're really tasty. You're probably going to pick up me gulping on the mic, but tough. It is what it is, okay? Anyway, on with the video. Okay, so are you an audiophile? Get ready with your pen, get your scores, okay? And question number 1 is, do you own a pair of headphones worth more than $250? That's £193 or 231 euros. Well, for me, yes, I do. Just behind me here, I have some Sigva headphones, Answer, and at the moment they're going for £199. So yes, I do own a pair. I also own some 1000 XM2 Sony's wireless Bluetooth headphones, and when they came out, they were I think £350, and they're not worth that now. Obviously, they're getting on a bit now. But the XM5s, I think, which are out now, they're only 250. Say only, still quite expensive. So yeah, I own headphones that price. So point to me, how did you do? Okay. Question number 2. Do you subscribe to Tidal for high fidelity sound? Now, obviously Tidal used to use MQA, but there was a bit of controversy surrounding MQA, whether it was actually high res or not. And since then, I think Tidal has transferred all their files over to FLAC, so they're still high res. But I don't subscribe to Tidal, but I do subscribe to Amazon. That's the one made of pork. I've had too many swigs of that beer. I do subscribe to Amazon Music, which has HD and UHD resolution, so it is high res music. So I'm going to answer yes for that one, because I do subscribe to Amazon for the high res fidelity sound. Question 3. Do you believe expensive cables actually make a difference? Now this is a loaded question. No, I don't believe, so I do believe cables make a difference to a certain extent, okay? But expensive cables, potentially not. So I think it's the quality of the cable. Take, for example, speaker cable. So I use Amazon, 12 gauge, oxygen free, pure copper cable. And I get banana plugs, which I stick on the end. And you can get a reel of that, I think, for 30 quid. Then you've got to buy the banana plugs. What's that, £20, £30? So you're looking all in with 50 to 60 quid. Not particularly expensive. And I think them cables, they offer less resistance, less impedance, so the signal will travel better. And also on longer runs, it's going to make a difference, as opposed to using, say, 16 gauge copper clad aluminium cable. I think it does make a difference, but I don't believe expensive £1,000 cables are any better than, 12 gauge or 10 gauge pure copper OFC cable. I don't believe that. So I'm going to say 50-50. So I'm going to mark myself 0.5 for that. Question 4. Do you still buy vinyl? Hell yes, of course I do. Now, I'm not one of those who say that vinyl sounds better than CD or vinyl sounds better than streaming or anything like that. I just love vinyl. I think it gives out a decent sound. And obviously, it's all down to the components you're going to use, down to the stylus, the quality of the turntable, the quality of the phono stage, the quality of the amp it's going into. These are all variables you have to take into account. But I love vinyl, and I love CD, and I love streaming, but I love physical media, maybe because of the tactility of it. I remember when I was a kid, you could be looking through it through rose-tinted glasses, I suppose, but I remember as being a teenager, going to a shop and buying that album. It was Woolworths I used to go to. And I'd go there, get the bus into town, go there, buy an album, bring it home, pop it on. Then you would take it out, look at the sleeve, look at read the inserts and all that. It was just an experience which you don't get through streaming. And also, you own that media. It's yours. No one can ever take it from me unless, my house burns down or something. I hope that doesn't happen. And that's why I do still buy vinyl. I love it. Anyway, let's go on to question number 5. Do you pay attention to the acoustics of a room? 100% yes. Now, the acoustics of this room aren't fantastic, so I can do the clap test. Okay, it's not quite that bad. There is a little bit of echo in there, but the thing is, though, it all depends on where you've got your equipment and if you're living with people, okay? So I don't have a dedicated listening room, that some of you lucky ones do. If I had a dedicated listening room, it would be completely sound treated, okay? I'd have a wall sound treatment all over the place. There'd be heavy curtains up. There'd be a massive rug down or carpeted, soft furnishings, I'd do it all, okay? But in this instance, this is a shared room. I can't do that. I have my wife, my kids, everything like that. So I can't really do it. I do the best I can. I put a little rug down here. I put some sound treatment up on the walls. It helps a little bit. It's not perfect. But I think, if you've got a really bad room that's got tiled or wooden floors, high ceilings, things like that, you could spend all the money you want on equipment, and that room would just ruin the sound of your equipment. So if you can afford, or you can talk your significant other into maybe putting up some sound treatment, I'd do it. So I say yes for that one. Question number 6. Do you care more about audio quality than the actual music? And again, this is a double-edged one, isn't it? Right? Because, yeah, I do care about audio quality and I do care about the music. But here's the thing for me, okay? And I'd love to, again, know your thoughts in the comment section. So, and most of us would spend quite a bit of money on our equipment, only to play terrible sounding albums. And I think, if artists should really look into the production quality of their music. I mean, I've got CDs and albums which sound shockingly bad, really bad. Like, you're like, oh my God, I love the song itself, but it just sounds blinking awful. And if you didn't care about that, then you wouldn't spend the money on equipment, would you? You just buy an Echo Bluetooth speaker or something, smart speaker, wouldn't you? If you didn't care about the sound quality, then why bother getting all this? In saying that, you know, I do care about sound quality, but I wouldn't go out and buy Miley Cyrus albums just because the production quality was good, okay? No, I wouldn't. So it swings and roundabouts. So with that one, I'm going to give it a 0.5 for that one. So I'm going to say, yeah, it's a half yes. Question 7. Do your speakers have pride of place in your living room? Now I'm going to say yes to this. As you can see, my speakers here. Okay, and I think it depends. It depends. But if you want your speakers to sound good, you've got to position them in a decent place. Like for me, I'd like to have these speakers a little bit more out into the room, but I can't because it's a shared room. So I've got them out from the wall as far as I can. I'd probably like to have them up another 6 inches, maybe even a foot further out, but I can't. But they do take pride of place. And another thing you've got to consider, if you've got tower speakers or these Wolfdale Lintons, they're quite big. So obviously they're gonna stand out in the living room. If you've got teeny little bookshelf speakers, you know, maybe not so much. But even then, you want to put them in a place where you can listen to them decently and position them correctly. So I'm going to say yes, they do take pride of place in my room. Not so much my living room, but this room. Question 8. Do you know the definition of slew rate? Kind of. So let's take 3 op amps for example. Okay, so we've got the NE5532, the LM4562, and the OPA 2134. So the NE5532 has a slew rate of 9 volts per microsecond, and the other two have a slew rate of 20 volts per microsecond. So basically, it's how fast an op amp can respond to abrupt changes in signal. And the higher the slew rate, the better, supposedly less distortion. Whether you could tell the difference between them, it's debatable. But, you know, on paper, the higher the slew rate, the better the op amp, okay? Less distortion, it can handle, you know, different changes in signal better. Now, I kind of know what it is, so I'm not going to give myself a full point for that. I'm going to give myself a half point, okay? Now, what are we going on? Question number 9. Do you spend hours discussing bit rates with your friends? Well, again, this is not currently, okay? I think that question is a bit outdated, potentially. Back when you used to have a lot of MP3, and you'd like, you know, download, you know, dodgy MP3s, the bit rate was important to you. You know, it was like ideally you wanted 320 kilobits per second. That would be the best bit rate if you was using MP3. And I think, was it 192, if I remember rightly, and what was the lowest, 196? You didn't want that one, okay? Or 128, wasn't it? 128 kilobits per second was the one you didn't want, because it sounded a little bit weird, like it was singing through a tin can. You know, it had that weird sound to it. So you wanted, I think it was it 192 or 196? I can't remember, but 320 was the one that everybody wanted, but that took up more space on your drive. Look at me, I'm talking about him a lot now, aren't they? But today it doesn't really matter so much, because you've got streaming, FLAC files, you know, high res and that with FLAC. You don't really talk about bit rates as much. It's just FLAC, isn't it? So I'm going to say yes to that question if it was maybe 15 years ago. Okay, question 10. Do you own any imported albums that were only released in another country? Now, for me, it's no. I don't own any imported albums at all. All mine were bought and released in the UK. But do you own any? Let me know in the comment section if you do. Okay, let's go to the results. So if you scored 0, you're the opposite of an audiophile Philistine, if you will. Your music collection probably consists of Avicii remixes of Justin Bieber hits. Imagine that. I'm sure none of you scored 0. If you scored 1 to 4, you're a typical music lover. You enjoy spending your money on the occasional big ticket music items and are happy to make a few sacrifices to maximize your enjoyment, but you're not willing to take it to extremes. Justin Bieber doesn't feature in your library, although Avicii might. Oh, really? Now 5 to 7. Now I scored 7.5 because I give myself half scores, but I'm going to say I'm in this category, okay? You're an audiophile. I don't like that label though. You've built up an impressive library of songs and are always on the lookout for the best equipment through which to enjoy it. You think Justin Bieber is a singer, but you're not 100% certain. That is probably me. That is me, I think. And then 8 to 10. If you scored this, oh, you're properly in there. 8 to 10, you're the embodiment of an audiophile. Music producers call you up for your opinion and you get free hardware samples from the industry's finest manufacturers dropping through your letterbox. I don't know if I could fit some of these amps through my letterbox, I'm not sure. I need a big letterbox. On a weekly basis. You have never heard of Justin Bieber, you lucky so-and-so. And there you go. Let me know what you scored. Which one did you come out as? I'd love to know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I'll put a link to the actual quiz in the description box below if you want to see it. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Why haven't you? Are you mad? Look at what you're missing out on. Anyway, I will catch you in the next one.